The Phoenix Suns just been eliminated from the playoffs this year. And oh man, I think the entire media, NBA media, has been going at them boys since last night. So if you guys did not know, which I don't understand how you don't know, Phoenix got eliminated by the Timberwolves. Got swept. Not eliminated, they got swept. They got swept easily, quite honestly. Let's be honest here. And now moving forward, the questions are, what will Phoenix do going into next year? That's the $1 billion question. What will they do going into the next year? Because you got 3 guys on supermax contracts. I think Yusuf Nurkic has a massive contract too, and they just don't have any picks. I think they have maybe 1 pick in both rounds, one for, and then after that be in 5 years after that. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. Let's talk about everything. Better yet, we're going to talk about the main problems, which is the entire team. Now, there's some people out there that's going to say, "Oh, we had injuries." Okay, you can use the injury excuse if you think that's the only reason why you guys lost. That's fine. Injury excuses is nice. However, I think we all know it's a little deeper than that. When you have injuries, you need players to replace these players in the starting lineup because of the injuries problems. We had Devin Booker playing point guard because there was no legit starting point guard for them to play. You had Bradley Beal as the shooting guard, somebody who last year came off of a lot of injuries. And then this year, those injuries came back up again. And people are actually surprised that he was injured again. Kevin Durant plays like 75 games this year, which is awesome to see. But both those 3 are your spearheads. All 3 we know are bucket getters. The problem with all 3 being bucket getters is that only 2 of them are pretty solid defensive players. Devin Booker became a better defensive player, I think, after their finals run. He became a better defensive player, while Kevin Durant, during his time with Brooklyn, and the times that he was healthy, he's a pretty solid defensive player too. Probably about a little bit above average on the defensive side of the ball, but he is very limited considering his age of 35. He's not the same Kevin Durant 2-3 years ago. Let's be honest here. We all know that. Bradley Beal really has never been a defensive player at all. So the fact that he was thinking he was a two-way player when he joined this team was kind of comical in my personal opinion. But if I'm tacking everything about this Phoenix Suns team, one thing I attacked about the Phoenix Suns team was making a trade for Bradley Beal. I didn't see a reason why they needed to pick up Bradley Beal. I understand what he was putting up in Washington, but it's one of those situations to where, yes, his stats look great. They look wonderful over there in Washington, but one of the key factors is that he was not winning. The last time they even sniffed the playoffs was in 2021 when Russell Westbrook was on the team. So after Russell Westbrook left, there was no playoffs. There was no playoffs for the next, who knows what the future looks like. But Bradley Beal haven't been in the playoffs after Westbrook left. So there was no reason for him there was no thought process to say, yeah, you know what, Bradley Beal would be a perfect guy, winning culture that we can add to the team. In my personal opinion, that was just idiotic. Kevin Durant, I think ironically for me, I think if you look back to it, I don't think there was a reason for them to add Kevin Durant to that Phoenix Suns team, because I felt as though Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson provided what the Phoenix Suns needed at the time point. Because you had Chris Paul, you had Devin Booker, Mikal fit in right there with Cam Johnson next to him, even DeAndre Ayton to an extent. I thought that was a nice lineup. I said the only thing they have to do now is moving forward is getting an upgrade at the point guard position, because Chris Paul is getting older, so he'll slowly be reduced to the bench. And while Devin Booker has become a playmaker, it'd be awesome to still have a second point guard out there that can also make plays for players. I said that should be a thing that they should be focusing on. You find some of these draft picks or draft players that could do that for you. And it's clearly that was not the case. They was too busy focused on Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant comes over. He only played, a total of maybe 8 to 9 games for them when they got him. And then the playoffs hit up and we was expecting that team to work out. Of course, injuries. And then we get into the off season and all they did was just shuffle the entire roster. So they was not familiar with one another on this roster at all. It was 0%. It was There's Devin Booker. There's Kevin Durant. They should be able to figure out. All right, we'll get rid of Chris Paul. We'll bring in Bradley Beal. Okay, cool. Let's get rid of DeAndre Ayton because his contract is too big, and we'll bring in Yusuf Nurkic. He's a veteran. Even though I think DeAndre Ayton is better than Yusuf Nurkic by now. I don't know about you guys, but now I think he's been better. If he's not better now, I think he's been. If you don't think he's better, that's questionable. But I think he'd at least gave you some energy plays and make you feel like he should be doing something else. And then you look at the bench, and then everybody else on the bench and the role players. Grayson Allen, who they did re-sign, if I'm not mistaken, they did re-sign him right before the playoffs started. Cool little spot-up shooter. Decent defender, but nothing to go crazy about. Eric Gordon, they brought him in to be a bucket getter, and he's 35, so I don't know how much of a bucket getter they thought they was getting with him. Let's be honest with you. Royce O'Neal's a solid defensive-minded player, but he's not going to bring you anything offensively. Like, literally nothing offensively. Drew Eubanks, once again, okay backup center to have. Nothing crazy. Josh Okogie, nice defensive player. Nothing offensively. Bobo, they just didn't even try to give Bobo enough time to even... You'll think a roster like this, you'll think they will give they'll give as much time to a player like Bobo to see exactly what he can truly do for the team moving forward. Nope. They're like, we're cool. We'll just wing it type of deal. And I was like, all right, that's a choice. That's definitely a choice. Sign Isaiah Thomas for the rest of the season. Didn't even try to play him in the playoffs. Didn't even try. And then that's pretty much it. That's the team. The team is a bunch of question marks, a bunch of question marks, bunch of players that need to be set up, a bunch of players that need to know what their roles are. And for a team like this that don't know what it is, they just ran around with their heads cut off. And so now you're going to the next season. Of course, there's a lot of questionable. Apparently, the Phoenix Suns are the front office thinking about firing Frank Vogel because Kevin Durant said that he felt like the offense just wasn't there. Doesn't that sound similar? We heard this before. Ever since Kevin Durant left the Oklahoma City Thunder, he joined the Golden State Warriors team, and he didn't like the way the offense was running in Golden State, supposedly. Went to Brooklyn Nets team, of course, had his problems in Brooklyn. And now here in the Phoenix Suns, when you lose twice in a row in the back-to-back playoffs to where you don't even get as far as you thought your team can get, once again, it's I feel like the offense just wasn't there. So what about the defense? What about the playmaking and stuff like that? It's just nothing. Just absolutely nothing. So I have a fear. The fear for the Phoenix Suns, right? The fear for the Phoenix Suns going into next season is the fear of, well, not even the all season, not even the next season, just in the all season, fear that the Frank Vogel might get fired. There's a fear that they don't try to change what didn't work for them and they try to keep the team like it is and just keep replacing them with other role players. There's a fear of that. Rumors, Stephen A. Smith's rumors that Devin Booker, he wants to be in New York. Of course, everybody wants to be in a bigger team supposedly. And it's like you find all these articles, you hear everybody talking, and it's like, well, what should the Phoenix Suns do? Andre, in your personal opinion, what should the Phoenix Suns do? You know what the Phoenix Suns should do? I'll tell you what they should do. The Phoenix Suns should just go ahead and get rid of players they know it's not going to work out. Bradley Beal was never going to be a good fit. Get rid of Bradley Beal. Not going to fit. He wasn't going to be a good. Since when they made the announcement, I said that's not going to be a good fit. I don't care what anybody said. I don't care. Oh, you use a bucket. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Because all that didn't do anything. Get rid of Bradley Beal. Get rid of Yusuf Nurkic. Big, almost unplayable. 45% from the free throw line. Come on now. Ain't he at least a 60% free throw shooter or something like that? Come on now. Get rid of those two guys. Get players that fit around Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. I don't know why is it so hard to understand that. The Lakers had that problem when they switched up putting Anthony Davis at the center position, knowing that's not what he should be playing. It's the same thing here. Go find a point guard. Find a point guard that's a playmaker that can make for the team, that can get the ball out of Devin Booker's hand. While Devin Booker is an impressive playmaker, His role is not to be a playmaker. His role is to be a shooting guard. He is to shoot the ball. He is to pass. I mean, he is to be that second playmaker next to the point guard, the main point guard. Find a defensive-minded playmaking point guard. That's one. Find a center that's going to that's actually good, young, that's hungry, that's ready to play. If not, play both Baltiston and see how that exactly works out. Fix your bench. You need to find, because the older guys and stuff, that's not going to work. Find guys on the bench that can that's not just one dimensional. Don't find a player that's great defensively, can't do nothing for you offensively. Don't find a player that's good offensively, can't do anything for you defensively. And I'm talking about scoring the ball. Scoring the ball offensively, but can't play make, not a good, none of that. No. Find players that can do multiple things outside of just, I can do one thing. That should get me this far. No, we're done with that. The Phoenix Suns need to put in their head, especially that front office and whoever put this team together. It's not the 2010s anymore, man. This is 2020. We are in 2020 basketball, to where big threes and stuff like this doesn't equal to winning a championship anymore. That doesn't work anymore. That's long gone. Teams are now more well built because there's players every single year getting drafted, getting picked up for free agency, coming from the G League, that can do multiple things outside of just scoring the ball, being one-dimensional. There's now multiple players doing multiple things at a time, and his front office need to understand that. If the front office doesn't understand that, then the Phoenix Suns team would not get better moving forward. That's my personal opinion, though. But hey, that's just me. Phoenix Suns fan, I know you probably upset. Long gone the days of going back to the finals from 2021 and trying to compete for that championship again. Because at this moment of time, right now, y'all look like about first round exits for a little bit. And then hopefully, which this could be a very interesting offseason. You could be losing Devin Booker. You could be losing Kevin Durant. You could be losing players. You never know. But that's just my personal opinion. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what you're thinking. Hit the like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next basketball team.